My name is Jessica. 6 months ago, I was sitting alone on my balcony in Costa Rica, watching the lightning dance in the distance. I had just turned my phone back on, and it was blowing up with missed calls and texts from my family. They were begging me to come home because my sister Lily's wedding had fallen apart. It all started when Lily got engaged to Max, a wealthy businessman I never quite trusted. From the beginning, I had my concerns about their relationship. Max was controlling and possessive, and he didn't seem to respect Lily's boundaries. But my family was over the moon about the engagement. My parents, Robert and Emily, saw Max as the perfect match for Lily, and they were thrilled at the prospect of a lavish wedding. Growing up, Lily and I were very different. I was the responsible one, the straight-A student who always followed the rules. I got a scholarship to MIT and graduated with a degree in engineering. I landed a great job at a tech company in Boston and was working my way up the corporate ladder. Lily, on the other hand, was the free spirit. She was artistic and impulsive, always living in the moment. She dropped out of art school to pursue a career as a freelance photographer, which often left her broke and struggling. Despite our differences, I always tried to be there for Lily. I helped her out of financial jams, listened to her problems, and supported her dreams. But no matter how much I did, it never seemed to be enough. My parents always favored Lily, making excuses for her mistakes and overlooking her flaws. They saw her as the creative genius, while I was just the reliable one. When Lily announced her engagement, I tried to be happy for her. But as I got to know Max better, I couldn't ignore my gut feelings. I noticed how he would talk down to Lily, make decisions for her without asking, and control her every move. I tried to talk to Lily about it, but she wouldn't listen. She was so in love with Max that she refused to see his flaws. As the wedding planning progressed, I was initially named the maid of honor. I was excited at the prospect of being a part of Lily's big day. But things quickly started to go wrong. Max's mother, a wealthy and domineering woman, took over the planning process and hired a professional wedding planner. They made all the decisions without consulting me, and my input was constantly being ignored. One day, Lily invited me to lunch at a fancy restaurant. I thought it was an opportunity to catch up and clear the air. But when I arrived, I found Lily sitting at a table with her old friend, Sarah. Sarah was a flaky and superficial girl who I had never really gotten along with. Lily started the conversation by telling me that being the maid of honor was too much pressure for me, considering my busy job. She said that Sarah really understood the vision for the wedding and that she had asked Sarah to take over as maid of honor. I was shocked and hurt. I had rearranged my schedule and made so many sacrifices to be there for her, and now she was replacing me? Lily then went on to say that Max and she felt that my energy around the wedding had been negative. They said that I had been questioning too many things and that it was causing unnecessary stress. I tried to explain that my concerns were valid, that I was only looking out for her, but she wouldn't listen. She accused me of being jealous and not wanting her to be happy. When I got home, I called my parents hoping for some support, but they were no help. They told me to be understanding, that it was Lily's big day, and that I should try to see things from her perspective. I was devastated. I had always been there for my family, and now they were turning their backs on me. 2 weeks before the wedding, I received a text from Lily telling me that it would be best if I didn't come. She said that the tension between us was too much, and that she wanted the day to be perfect. I was heartbroken. I had been uninvited from my own sister's wedding. In that moment, I realized that I couldn't keep sacrificing my own happiness for the sake of my family. I decided to take a stand and put myself first. I booked a trip to Costa Rica, using the money I had saved for Lily's wedding gift. I turned off my phone and left the country, determined to find some peace and clarity. In Costa Rica, I found a sense of freedom I had never felt before. I spent my days hiking in the rainforest, practicing yoga, and meeting new people. I let go of all the anger and resentment I had been carrying for so long. I realized that I didn't hate my family. I just needed some space from them. But then, 3 days after the wedding was supposed to take place, I turned my phone back on. And that's when I found out what had happened. At the rehearsal dinner, Max's best man made a drunken comment about Max's financial troubles. Lily started asking questions, and Max got defensive. Eventually, she found evidence on his phone that he was on the verge of bankruptcy and had been lying to her about his wealth. Lily confronted Max, and he lashed out at her. He called her shallow and said that she knew what she was getting into when she agreed to marry him. Lily was devastated. She fled to my parents' house, sobbing, and canceled the wedding the next morning. Now, as I sat on my balcony in Costa Rica, looking at the messages from my family, I felt a mix of emotions. I was sad for Lily, but I also felt a sense of validation. I had been right all along, but they had refused to listen to me. I texted my parents and told them I would fly home the next day, but I needed them to understand that I wasn't the same person who had left. I wasn't going to be the one who always disappeared to keep the peace. I was going to stand up for myself and set boundaries. When I landed in Boston, I didn't rush to my parents' house. I went home, took a shower, and got some rest. The next morning, I walked into my parents' house with a newfound sense of confidence. I sat down with my parents and told them how I felt. I told them that I was willing to rebuild our relationship, but it had to be on my terms. Then I went upstairs to see Lily. She was a mess, her eyes red and swollen from crying. She threw herself into my arms and apologized. She said that she should have listened to me, that she had been blind to Max's true nature. We talked for hours, about the wedding, about Max, and about our childhood. We both realized that our relationship had been strained for a long time, and it was time to make a change. 6 months have passed since then, and things are different. We've all started family therapy, and we're learning to communicate better. Lily and I are closer than ever, and I'm finally starting to feel like a part of my family again. But most importantly, I've learned to love and respect myself, and I know that I don't have to sacrifice my own happiness for the sake of others.